So during Trans Vegas, we really wanted to celebrate our trans elders, icons, legends, and have intergenerational conversations because I think from being in the lockdown, looking at how our elders have been seen and treated was really depressing. And I thought, well, I want to lift up and elevate some of our elders in our community to show you how special they are. And I've made a bit of effort today because I will be interviewing ex-Vogue model, film star, star of La Carousel in Paris, probably the most famous trans woman in the UK. It's April Ashley. And I'm so excited to talk to her. I've got her phone number, so we won't be doing a filmed version of this interview. I'll be chatting to her on the phone. So you're going to have to look at me, but we are going to post a lot of beautiful pictures of April's story to kind of go with that. So if you're ready, let's give April a ring.
Hello.
So, April, thank you for joining us today as part of Trans Vegas Trans Arts Festival here in Manchester. Not far from where you were born, over in
Not
Liverpool.
far, 35 miles to be precise.
How many? 25?
No, 35.
35 miles. There you go.
Mm.
And I thought, I mean, that must feel like a world away from the things that happened in your life, how things started in Liverpool, for how things kind of, where you ended up.
When I was 5, I got a job doing the milk rounds with the milkman
Oh, yeah.
and his horse and cart. And I was so in love with the horse, I couldn't give a damn about the bombs dropping.
Amazing.
And there was a marvelous moment when we came to say goodbye because we were given a very short notice to get out of our house because we lived near the docks.
Was
We
that in
lived
Pitt
near
Street?
yes, on
Yeah.
Pitt Street. We lived near the Albert Dock, which was the most important dock. And of course, in those days, Liverpool was the most important seaport in the
Yeah,
world.
yeah. So you were quite
And
vulnerable there.
it was very sad saying goodbye to the milkman. But he said the most extraordinary thing to me. He said, "You're a very strange child." And I said, "Oh, please don't say that." I said, my mother says that to me every day. My brothers and sisters say it to me every day. He said, no, no, no. He said, "You have this extraordinary aura." And I said, "What is an aura?" And of course I didn't find it, but it took me a little while to find out an aura because none of my family knew what an aura was. But as I was crossing the road to go to my house, he said, "By the way, the horse that you've been calling Daisy all this time is actually called Dave."
So you'd misgendered the
And
horse.
I said, "What do you mean?" And he said, "Well, you never looked." And I said, "Look at what?" And of course,
That's
being
funny.
a child, of course, you didn't look at those. You
No.
didn't know the difference anyhow. So
So
it
that
was
that
very
kind of
funny.
gender, there was something already happening around gender. People were picking it up even at quite a young age around you and your gender and
Oh, yes. I mean, and you see, what people don't understand about transsexuals is that to be to be born with the brain of a woman or a man, whichever way you're going to go, and to be brought up as the opposite sex
mm,
is the most horrifying and terrifying thing in the world.
it is.
On the day the war came to an end, I started work at St. John's Market in Liverpool.
Mm.
I was 10 years old, so I was very lucky to get a job right at 10. And I couldn't go to school because I had these great fangs. And
Oh,
the doctor said, "No, if anybody punches you in the face, you'll be in serious trouble."
wow.
But I was punched left, right, and
I
centre
know.
every day, and you know, but I was very religious. I used to go to mass. I'd do the milk round at 5 o'clock in the morning,
Mm.
and at 6 o'clock I was in church.
Mm.
And the one thing I always learned was forgive them for they know not what they do. And that's what I used to say whenever they would beat me up. But then, as always in my life, a bit of luck comes into my life,
Mm.
and a dog came into my life called
Mm.
Prince.
Mm.
And boy, if anyone raised a fist to me, that
Really?
fist ended up in his jaws.
Wow. So he was your protector.
And he would sit outside the school gates on the days I
Amazing.
could go to school,
Yeah.
and he would be waiting for me.
Wow.
And so the bullies who used to tie me up into the air raid shelters and leave
Horrible.
terrible marks on my face because they had those straps made out of metal, and
Mm.
they tie, and the marks would be on my face for 3 days.
Mm.
Thank goodness the priests have to come round every evening to see if anybody was in the shelters.
Mm.
So they would find me tied up
Awful.
if Prince hadn't was not there, or if I was alone, they'd tied me up. So
We all need a prince.
yes,
We all need a prince dog with us.
well, I had Prince Charming.
Prince Charming. I love that. I mean, that milkman was right. And that aura got you out of there and got you, well, I mean, via London over to Paris.
And when I was in the south of France, I met two friends who owned a nightclub in London.
Mm.
We were on the beach, and everyone kept saying, "Do you work in the carousel?" And I said, "No, I don't work in the carousel."
Mm.
And then one day I said to Eric and his friend, I said, "What is the carousel?"
Yeah.
And this is after many, many people had said it to me. And they said, "Oh, well, you've never been to the carousel?" And I said, "No, I've never even heard of it before." So they said, "Well, we're driving up to Paris. Do you want to come with us and we'll take you to the carousel?" So I said, "Oh," I said, "that'd be lovely. I'd love to be driven up to Paris rather than take the train." And so we ended up in Paris, and they
Mm.
took me to the carousel, and immediately I was grabbed by some people. They worked at the carousel,
Yeah.
obviously, and taken into an office where I met this little man called Monsieur Marcel, who looked like Humphrey Bogart, looked like a gangster.
Yeah.
And he said to me, "What do you do?" And I said, I sort of run restaurants and pick potatoes and pick tomatoes. And he said, "Have you ever been on stage?" And I said, "No, except at school." And he said, "Well, can you sing?" And I said, "No." He said, "Can you dance?" And I said, "No." He said, "Would you like to come and work here?"
Amazing.
And he'd taken me backstage, you
Yeah.
see. And it was the funniest moment, one again, an hysterical moment, because there was this Canadian impersonator called Leslie,
Leslie. I have a
who was
picture here of Leslie, actually.
absolutely marvelous. Thank God I was lucky. I mean, again, you see, luck came into my
Yeah.
life again
Yeah.
because he immediately became my mentor. So anyhow, getting back to Missy Marcel, he
Yeah.
said, "So you can't sing, you can't dance. And he said,
No.
would you like to come and work here?" And I said, "Oh, I would love it, you know."
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, go back to London, pack your things and come right back and we'll fix
Amazing.
you up and everything." And Leslie found me, they didn't have a room in his hotel, but they had a room in the hotel next to him.
Mm.
So I went and they started, teaching me a few things to do. And I was just very, very lucky that I had incredible looks. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not,
Nobody's arguing with you there. April.
I'm not being conceited or
No,
anything,
no.
because
We'll be
I
showing
could,
pictures during this interview and people can see for
mm,
themselves.
I used to get terribly embarrassed because people always talked about my eyelashes and my
Yeah,
looks and
yeah,
things like that,
yeah,
and what have you. So eventually, I ended up presenting the show for the Carousel,
yeah.
and Coccinelle, the great star.
Oh yes, I have a picture of Coxie now. Very
Oh,
glamorous. All very. I mean,
oh,
you're all very glamorous.
yes, and they've named part of a street after her now, which
Oh
I'm
right,
so glad
okay.
for her, because she and I never got on.
No,
She
I
was
heard
very,
that. I heard you didn't. I heard
she,
that she was a
she
bit tricky with you.
she was jealous, you
Yeah.
see, because she'd been brought up with prostitutes,
Hmm.
and they all, by the way, they all addressed me as "milady" because they thought
Okay.
I was grand,
Yeah.
and I never knew why. And it was sarcastic. It wasn't a compliment.
No.
They were all being sarcastic because they
Okay.
thought I
Shady.
was
I think
like.
they call that shady nowadays.
I think they thought I was la-di-da, you know.
Mm, mm.
I wasn't. I was just being mean.
Yeah.
And I didn't get on, but I became best friends with Bombi. We were like
Yes.
sisters. Every time she gets drunk, she screams, "Hey, Monster!" She's my sister.
And Bambi worked there for a long time.
Yes,
I
and
read 20
Bombi
years
was,
or
she was the second star, you see. Coccinelle, nobody could outdo Coccinelle.
no.
I mean, she was just so outrageous. Do you know, every time there was a premiere in
Yeah.
Paris, all the great stars of France would
Yeah.
be there. And they'd all be terrified in case Coccinelle turned up. And she did turn up.
Yeah. With
And
brass knobs on.
all the cameras would be on all the great stars.
Yeah.
But the moment Coccinelle stepped out of her car, she'd drop one boob right out. Well, of course,
Really.
in the 1950s,
Yes.
all the cameras would go, whoosh,
That would be it.
away from all the stars to Coccinelle. Oh, she was so
A
funny.
girl's got to do what
I,
a
I,
girl's got to do what a girl's got to do, April.
well, I absolutely worshipped her, you see.
Yeah.
This was the dichotomy of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Was that I worshipped her. I thought she was so funny,
Yeah.
but I also did a very naughty thing to her once. And
Oh, come
when
on.
she was
Do
on
tell.
stage, I sewed up the bottom of her skirt and I sewed up her sleeves. So when she tried to get into them, she felt
I think she probably asked for a bit of that. I feel like she needed bringing down a peg or two.
she knew exactly who'd done it, of course. And she was the most wonderful cook. The few times that she did invite me
Yeah.
to her house to have dinner,
Yeah.
she was a fabulous cook.
Yeah.
And but
What I
anyhow,
what I was surprised about in sorry to interrupt. What I was surprised about at the carousel was that there were trans men there as well.
well, Mickey Master, you see, because Mickey didn't speak French, he and I would stand in the there was a sort of like a corridor between the stage and the dressing room.
Mm.
And Mickey and I would stand there chatting, and we were walking back to our hotel one night, Leslie and I, because our hotels, as I said, were next door to them.
Mm.
And I said, yes, I said, I'm getting an awful crush on Mickey.
Mm.
Said, you silly bugger. He said, don't you know it's a woman?
I mean, it was all going on.
I
I just think that's
said,
really fascinating.
I said, what? I
Great.
said, it's a woman. She's a male impersonator.
She's very
Um,
good. She's a pinup.
oh, I've never laughed so much in my life, but it never spoiled our friendship. We were
No.
great friends.
Yeah.
I loved Mickey. I still love Mickey.
I mean, I'm jealous of the fact you worked there. I mean, I think like my trans journey is similar. I was feminine. I was called a big girl's blouse. I kind of did lots of dressing up and playing, and I ended up doing drag and performance before I transitioned. So there was something about, I think that would have really appealed to me, back
Well,
then.
it was the greatest female impersonator show in the world,
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
It was the most expensive nightclub in Paris. It was even
Really
more expensive than the Lido, the Moulin Rouge.
amazing. And I mean, amazing that time that there was such this fascination, and it was almost like trans people. I mean, they probably weren't called that then, but they had a place if you were on stage, and they could charge a lot. And there was something very interesting to me about that.
And I was lucky being English because
Yeah,
I met all the great stars like
I
Ginger
know.
Rogers and
I've heard
Josephine
about them.
Baker
I
and
know.
Rex Harrison and all of their stars.
Yeah,
They all wanted to speak to me, you see.
yeah.
And and
People still do want to speak to you, April. I've been dying to speak to you. We all want to speak to you.
to end the Coccinelle story, I was going to stand in the wings and watch her because
Yeah,
she was so
you
fascinating to
enjoyed
watch.
her.
And she had a very pretty voice. She's got a very pretty voice. I got tapes she sent,
Hmm.
discs she sent me.
It'd be lovely to hear
Um,
those.
because she had a very pretty voice, and she had the most amazing body. She was a tiny, tiny little thing.
Mm. She
But she had
looks
the most
very
amazing.
sexy and like a little
She had
blonde
oh,
bombshell.
yes. Um,
But she
and
kind of get in the way a little bit of you? Wasn't she like, I mean, there seemed to be this place. There was,
she got in the way of me going to Casablanca.
yes. And that,
She would not. She went to Casablanca in '58,
yeah,
and I begged her for the address of Dr. Burrow and everything, and she wouldn't give it to me.
no,
So Kiki Mustik, who was a great, one of her best friends,
yeah.
but also Kiki adored me, thank goodness.
Mm.
And one night Kiki came up to me after Coccinelle had shot out of the door, and Kiki said to me, April, I think this is what you want.
Mm.
And he handed me a little piece of paper. And there it was, Dr. Burrow, Clinic du Parc, Rue La Pepe, Casablanca. I immediately got in contact with Dr. Burrow, and immediately Dr. Burrow said, come. And as I was walking across the tarmac toward the plane, because in those days you walked across the tarmac,
Yeah.
Skippy, who was the dancer, the leader, an American, very handsome, very nice, he shouted after me, shouted, April, when you get back, I want to be the first.
Ah!
Skippy, shut up.
That they were queuing up. Goodness me, I love that. So that was that was a nice farewell. See you on your
Well,
way.
no, because they were all making me so nervous. You see, Kiki was there, Bobby was there. They were all shouting, "Don't go! They'll
Don't
kill you
go.
in
How
Casablanca."
awful.
I said,
It
"Yes,
was
I'm
very.
going."
I
And
mean, there was some bravery in that. I mean, this was in the 50s. There wasn't many people who'd had that surgery back then.
no, not at
There was a
that,
handful,
not at
wasn't there?
that time,
No.
because there had been troubles in Algeria and things like that, which is not far away from
Yeah.
from Morocco. That's where Bombay comes from, by the way.
Yes.
And so I got on the plane and I arrived, and I used to dress, sort of androgynously when I was traveling because of my passport. And when I got to the hotel, I went in, I signed in, and I went up, and then I phoned Dr. Burrow, and he said, well, you come on in. And so I went upstairs, and this poor man's face, I went upstairs in a trilby
Yeah.
and rather semi-masculine
Yeah.
clothes, and I came down in Givenchy,
Oh, there you go.
looking like a dream.
Come on. If you're going to do it.
His jaw hit the deck. I got into a taxi. I said, Clinic to Park, please. And then they took me to the clinic and I went in and Dr. Burr said to me, now, why would a beautiful woman like you want to become a man?
Amazing.
I said, Dr. Burr, this is my passport. I offered him my passport. He said, when do you want to do it? And I said, as soon as possible. He said, pack your things, come in tonight, and we'll operate tomorrow morning.
Wow. So
No
it was fast.
No psychiatrist, no nothing.
No hoops to jump through there. You just literally land, change into your Givenchy, and then you're on the operating table within hours.
I was incredibly lucky because I'd been in the hospital 2 weeks. I was desperately ill. They thought they were going to lose me.
Wow.
And I'd lost an enormous amount of hair. Happily grew back. Now it's going again. I'm 85. The doctor said, I think you should have a little fresh air today. So I'm getting the nurse. Said he picked the biggest nurse, and they took me downstairs. And I walked into the street and immediately fainted into the gutter.
Oh, God.
I'm lying in the gutter.
Yeah.
And I woke up screaming with laughter. And the nurse said, what is the matter? What is the matter?
Yeah.
I said, I am the happiest person in the whole world.
Isn't that beautiful?
I said, I cannot tell you how happy I am.
You feel like you have a little reprieve, don't you? I mean, you were doing well as a model and you were in films and there was a lot of...
I was doing, yes, and I was, all the movies, the directors wanted to meet me and everything like that. I met hundreds of them, and in Spain too. And then the people, a friend of mine sold me, and I can't tell you how angry I was, not at the fact they sold me, because I knew people were going to realize who I was, because so many people, because Paris is not far from London, so many people used to come up to me and say, don't I know you from someone? You know,
And was that stressful? Was that did you always feel like it's going to happen? It's only a matter of time.
I'm sorry?
Did you often feel like it's only a matter of time? I imagine that was quite stressful.
Oh, yes, I knew that because, but as I said, Paris is too close to London. And people would recognize me from Paris. They'd say, but weren't you one of the stars of the carousel? And I'd say, yes. And I never denied who I was, you see. And the most extraordinary thing that happened was that I had to change my name, my complete name. I wasn't allowed to keep my family name or anything. So that was something different for people to know too. I was not allowed to keep the Jameson name. And as I'd been doing April on stage, I kept the April, and as I was a great reader of maps, I noticed that in every county there was a village or a town called Ashley. So I call myself Ashley.
It's a great name.
But anyhow, then I was doing modelling and I was booked up the whole time and I was making lots of money.
You were Vogue, weren't you Vogue's favourite underwear model?
You know, this 50th anniversary they just had? It was
Vogue.
me they wanted. It was me they wanted to put on the cover.
I see, it was you.
They wouldn't pay me, and I said, listen, I worked for Vogue, and you paid me then. And if you're not going to pay me now, then there's no fee, no me.
I see.
And they phoned me up. I lost count of them and saying, but April, this Eddie, this new director of Vogue, is desperate to put you on the cover.
Yeah.
And I said, well, tell him to get his checkbook out, and I'll do it.
Yeah.
I said, but my days of doing things for nothing are over.
Good.
I should be comfortable, at least, but I'm not. I'm poor. I should be rich, but I'm not. I'm poor. I get so angry. so many people asking for interviewers and things,
Yeah.
and I just say no fee, no me.
Good.
And
Your story is worth
anyhow,
you and your story are worth a lot, and people should be paying.
the modeling went famously well. And by the way, all the photographers were marvelous. I mean,
Yes.
the photographers,
Who did you
and
work
a lot
with?
of
Who did you work with? Which photographers did you work with?
the top ones I can think of are Donovan
Yeah.
and Bailey
Yeah.
and was the one who just died. Oh God, there were so many famous
Yeah.
photographers at that moment, and they all photographed me.
Mm.
And you know, I was very popular with them, and I go and have a drink with them and things like that. And then suddenly a friend sold me to the People Sunday paper for £5. I was so
Five
angry.
pounds.
I, they said, why are you so angry? I said, the fact they only got £5
I
for silly
know.
buggers. They could have got hundreds of pounds.
They could have so got more. If
And
you're
then,
gonna do it, I mean that's just cheap.
so then I went into the agency and Signon and Ingrid who rang it. Signon was the Queen Mother's favourite model, by the way.
Oh, okay.
But she had this agency called Models. And Signon called me into the office and she said, April, you'll never work in England again. She said, I suggest you go and live abroad. And I said, no, I love my country. I'm not going to go. And she said, well, you will never get another job modeling, darling. She said, and don't think I'm being cruel. She said, I'm telling you the truth. You will never get another job. She said, you do not know how many people, because I was booked up for 6 months in advance.
Wow.
She said, we've had nothing but nasty calls this morning.
And this was in 1961, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then I couldn't get a job selling ties. I couldn't get a job as a waitress. I couldn't get a job as a washing. But then I went off to Madrid and I was paid 3 times what I got paid in London. But unfortunately, they only had 2 very short seasons a year. And by that time, I was involved with Arthur Corbett and we had a nightclub. And,
yeah.
And
but I loved hearing that during that time when people started to write to you, you were getting a lot of hassle in the press, on the street, but people started to write to you, trans people started to write to you, and you've been writing back to them for years.
I wrote back, but I had to stop in the end because nobody ever put a self-addressed envelope.
Oh my goodness!
In the thing, and I thought this is beginning to be expensive.
Yes.
Of course, I was no longer making the big money I'd been making. What have you? So going to Spain was rather. It was horrible because of Arthur, but it was wonderful for me because I had my Great Danes.
Yes, I've seen pictures of those. Mr. Blue. Was it Blue? One of them called Blue or Mr. Blue?
Mr. Blue.
Mr. And funny enough, my boyfriend is called Mr. Blue.
Is he?
Yes, he's called Taylor Blue. And when I read that, I was like, same name as my boyfriend. I think people might not know about your influence and input to the Gender Recognition Act. I just think people might not be as aware of that. And I think I was really interested to read about that and how you took some action and your involvement in that. Didn't you write to Tony Blair and just say you wanted your name, wanted your gender on your birth certificate?
Oh, yes, I wrote him when I was living in America.
Yeah.
And I wrote him, I said, it's time this great country recognized people like me.
Yeah.
And, why should we go spend our lives in torture or blah, blah.
Yeah.
All this. But anyhow, it was passed on to Lord Falkner. And then I think Lord Prescott, who he and I used to work together in Wales when we were in our teens.
Yeah.
It was hysterical. We used to go riding in our breaks into the mountains of Wales.
Yeah, amazing.
So I think between Lord Tony, I don't give any credit to Tony Blair.
No.
I think he passed it on to Lord Falkland
Yeah.
and Lord Prescott, and I think they decided it was time to change the birth certificate.
Yeah. And what was that like?
Well, there were people there, and they said, well, April, are you going to celebrate? And I said, no, I've waited too long. I'll just have a bottle of champagne.
Yeah, thank you. Just a casual bottle of champagne.
Nothing, nothing to
Well, I'm
celebrate.
thanking you. I'm thanking you
Nothing,
for moving that forward.
nothing had changed with me. Everybody thought that things would change with
Yeah.
me. And I refused to give in
No.
and hide away.
No.
I thought, I'm going to be out there.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to every do I'm invited to
Yeah.
and let them see that I'm just an ordinary, normal person, just like they are.
Yeah.
And I did that for years.
Yeah.
Sometimes I paid a heavy price, but a lot of the time I didn't.
Mm.
You know, there were horrible moments when a woman spat at me.
Yeah.
There was another time when a woman slapped me across the face.
Wow.
The most horrible time when I was in a box right above the Queen at Ascot, and suddenly my boyfriend called me out, and he was crying, and I said, "Why are you crying?" And he said, "They've just thrown you out."
Oh no.
And there I was looking, you know, all in black and white, my fabulous hat and everything. And we were being thrown out of Ascot, a box at Ascot. So there were heavy prices to pay.
But you
But
decided to be visible and be out there and
yes,
turn
and
up.
then I turned up and I made sure that I looked the best I
Yes.
possibly could.
Always.
And to be as nice as I could be and be as kind as I should. Because my father always said, if you're kind to yourself and kind to other people, they will be kind to you.
Yeah. I think you pretty
And
much stood by your dad's rules or your dad's philosophy.
absolutely,
I
absolutely,
feel like you've lived
absolutely.
really well and it's inspiring. It's inspiring me. I mean, I'm 55 and I feel like I'm going to adopt some of that. I'm going to say
I,
goodbye because I can't thank you enough. I've really enjoyed chatting to you, and you're just a big inspiration to me, and I'm just so glad that I've just got a taste of it, and we're really looking forward to you being part of the festival this year. Lots of
okay, well,
love.
thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. We did an hour and 40 minutes with an 85-year-old trans legend. I'm just saying that is incredible. I didn't think I had the stamina for that. I mean, and we could have kept going. I mean, I had a few more questions, and yeah, I mean, I just want to say, listening to that, how similar our experiences were. You know, coming from quite a poor working class background, being kind of having a lot of upset in my younger years for being an effeminate child, and actually kind of how you overcome that and when you open up to the world, and sometimes you need to get out of your little world to kind of go into the bigger world, and that definitely resonated for me. And I feel like we owe people like April a huge legacy for taking those slaps on the street and still turning up. I mean, to hear April Ashley talk about still getting out and turning up and not being put off and kind of looking good, you know, dressing up. I think that to me feels like a really working class thing, to kind of show out and show up and not let, if you're feeling vulnerable, just kind of turn up and look good. You know, that's it's a great defense. She mentioned that herself, that being beautiful helped ease her through some of life, as it does all beautiful people. But I think it's what you do with that, and I think sticking to her trans community, sticking to her the good in her life and the beliefs of her dad are very inspiring to me. Um, and when she was talking about lashes, because that's apparently Einstein talked about her lashes, and I deliberately wore my longest lashes today in honour of April Ashley.